What it mean to be the best? Riding foes, feeling unimpressed. Make me reminisce, throwing bows, been in the corner, set my mind up on the goal. All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the goal. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to Tell the Truth Tuesdays. Happy to be back with you guys. We're here after the Chiefs have fallen to 0-2 for the first time in the Mahomes era. And we have had some things to talk about and work over. Obviously, there were some miscues, to say the least, some continual issues, obviously, that have carried over from Brazil. Some ways in which things have changed, but, we will address all of that. And this will be a fair warning for you guys. This will be a very film-heavy podcast at the request of DG, but honestly, I think it makes sense from this perspective. There's a lot of different angles to attack as far as this Chiefs team is kind of concerned coming out of that game specifically that I think is worth talking about. So with that being said, DG, CJ, how you guys feeling today, man?
We suck. We suck right now. Like, I don't even know how else to put it, bro. Like, it's just... It doesn't look good right now. Obviously, it can get better. I think there's still things that can improve or whatever. But these last 2 weeks, we suck, man. I'm sorry. just plain and simple how I can put it.
Defensively, I think we did some better things. I watched a lot of film today. I liked a lot of improvements, obviously, from the secondary. I think we communicated a lot better, passed off things better. Pass rush is still the biggest thing we're going to harp on. But from a secondary standpoint, I think we played a lot better as far as just sticking to our keys, reading our stems, being more physical at the point of attack, especially with trying to get a lot of things going in the screen game, taking shots downfield. Guys were looking for the ball and making plays. So I think defensively we did a lot of things better. And from a defensive standpoint, I think they did a great job of giving us a chance to win that ball game. From an offensive standpoint, DG is correct. We're just not explosive right now. That part of the ball, we're not good, which is to be expected because you don't have number 1 and number 4 out there. But defensively, hell of a game plan from Spags. I'm sure we'll get more into it with the film. But they gave us a chance to win that ball game. Overall, I'm definitely proud of the defense for stepping up and answering the call. Just offensively, just got to make it work till we get the horses back, man. So a lot of things we can improve on. But overall, a decent performance to give yourself a chance to win a ball game. And that's all I asked for. So they definitely did that for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a performance, and obviously last week, this time I told you guys I expected this team to get beat by double digits, and I'll say this, they didn't do that, which was nice to see, and I thought that it was the fight that they brought on the defensive end that really was the changer, or the difference, I should say, as far as what you saw from them in Brazil, and then what you saw from this team being able to make that kind of an ugly game, and again, a game that you were right in until the end. Either to have a stop there. I mean, it was kind of difficult to see you stopping the Eagles based on some other factors, which we can maybe get into a little bit later on. But the reality of the situation is it just you missed it. Whether it was a missed field goal by Harrison Butker. And I know other people will be, saying it's 58 yards. 58 yards is really long. I'm sorry, Harrison Butker is the highest paid kicker in the National Football League. I've seen the Cowboys be very comfortable in having Brandon Arby kicking from 64. You got to make that kick. Sorry to tell you that. That's what you get paid to do. Or, of course, the Travis Kelce drop there down on the goal line, which not only takes 7 points off the board in a similar fashion to what he did in Brazil, but ultimately got the Eagles back to midfield to give them a short field in which a game in which they weren't able to put a long drive together and was able to get points off of that as well. So tough all the way around. And now you see yourself going at 0-2, going to New Jersey to face the Giants in MetLife and seeing if you can do something for the first time, which is beat the Giants on the road, funny enough. And in my opinion, what is a must-win game. So we'll talk about that, obviously, a little bit later on. The question I have for you guys, and then I've kind of just given my feelings, honestly, I will say I do feel better today than I did on Saturday after the Chargers game, my personal opinion. DG and CJ, do you guys feel better week 2 after, or I should say after week 2 than you did after week 1?
Much better, for sure.
I feel a lot more confident in the defense than I, improving than I do. Offensively, it's just look like a team. It's just your, receiver one, receiver two, your rookie receiver that you drafted. Yeah, it just doesn't look good right now, and I think it can always get better just with those guys coming back. But I will say I was encouraged a little bit by some of the drives that the offense did have. That drives where actually Travis Kelce did turn it over. I thought that was probably their best drive of the day, where they actually stayed patient, took what was in front of them, didn't try to do anything crazy or out the blue or anything like that, and just kind of worked and matriculated their way down the field. And then you get to the 5-yard line, and Travis Kelce just like, yeah, let's just blow the game, let's just give it away here. But yeah, defensively, I felt a lot better this week. Was glad to see Spags emphasize putting in some of the younger guys in there. Noah Williams, I thought had some good snaps. Jalen Watson was a lot better this week as well too. Omar Norman stepped in and showed a little bit of what he can be able to do. And I thought Charles Omenihu played a lot better game this week as well too. But still, that 4-man rush, it's not pretty. This looks like it's stale. There's no plan. I don't know what world George Karlaftis was on this week, but he obviously wasn't there. Chris Jones as well too. Just didn't really have a massive impact as you would like to see them have in this game. So hopefully he can get better. Hopefully he can improve. That's what I'm hoping for to see from them, especially going into the Meadowlands this week.
CJ, you feel better week 2 than you did after week 1?
Yeah, absolutely. Better effort on defense. I think a lot of things I questioned week 1 were just a lot of effort. I didn't really question too much effort this week. I think guys played hard, got downhill. Another solid defensive outing as far as stopping the run. Saquon didn't really get off. I having too many big runs outside of his touchdown run, which was like a 14, 15-yarder, nothing crazy. So didn't get too many explosives there. Got a lot of PBUs, especially in a lot of one-on-one situations. Shout out to Noah Williams, Brian Cook, Nick Bolton. A lot of guys made big plays when we needed to get off the field in those scenarios. Like DG said, Jalen Watson played a lot better. He's a guy I had my eyes on a lot because I think we questioned a lot of things he did week 1. So it was good to see him answer the bell. Definitely was good to see all the rookies. Ashton Gelati make some plays, Noel to get their feet wet to get back on the field and try to get used to play. Because this is their time really playing real life football since college season. So it's been a while for them as well. So, overall defensive game plan. If you would have told me going into the fourth quarter the Eagles had 13 points, I would take that any day of the week, regardless of how much we have. So the fact that it was a 13-10 ball game, minus the field goal that we missed by Booker, that game was in our hands. So defensively, I can't really get mad about Spags too much. He called a hell of a game. Our pass rush does need to get better. I looked at the stats. I think we're leading the league in a blitz rate right now, rightfully so, because our front four is not getting home at the moment. So guys definitely have to get better.
We are sending the most rushers on average at 4.82, I believe was the number.
Yeah. Rightfully so. I think we were top in the league last year. So I mean, we all knew we needed to get another body. I've been screaming that you can never have enough rushers. I don't care if you're bringing in free agents, undrafted guys. You can never have enough D linemen. Even back in our days, back in 2022 and before, you can never have enough guys that can get to the quarterback. It just makes everybody's job easier just having another guy. And everybody gets hungry when they know their snaps are getting cut out for another guy on the team. So just iron sharpens iron, makes everyone better. But secondary-wise, I think defensively they gave us a chance to win that ball game. It's just we're limited on offense right now. And the play, we can't make mistakes on offense. So missed throws by Pat, drop passes by Kelce, missed kicks by Butker. We can't afford those things right now. Normal times, we could probably overcome that if we're fully healthy on offense. But when they're playing a team like that in a situation in that scenario, you can't miss that kick, Butker, and you can't drop that ball trash. So those are things that – do I like the way it ended? No, but I'm proud because we put ourselves in a position to win the game. We just didn't execute from an offensive standpoint. Butker, you have to make that kick. I've seen you make that kick multiple times. Kelce, you ran that route a million times. So those are two plays that two of your better players, the most experienced players on the team should make those. If you make those, we win that ball game. So overall, I am feeling better just because we put ourselves in a position. Week 1, we did not do that. We didn't even put ourselves in a position to even win the game. I think we did that on Sunday. So,
yeah.
I haven't seen Butker push a field goal like that in a long, long time. That was That was wild.
It was a weird miss. It's right. I ain't seen him do that since he rolled his ankle a couple years ago.
Yeah, I was like, dang, you didn't even hit the upright or nothing. Like
that was rough. That was rough. Yeah. Got to get right, bro, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's interesting. I think it's a little bit of it feels like a moral victory in some sense, which I don't particularly like, but I mean, at a certain point, you gotta take the wins where they come. In other respects, too, like
get blown out.
You gotta be honest with what you saw. Some things we did well, some things we didn't do well. But is there improvement? Yes. Not to where we want to be, absolutely not. But did we get better? Yes.
Yeah, and look, this is a team that obviously judges itself on wins and losses, so make no mistake about it as far as that aspect is concerned. But I mean, look, I thought the effort was better, which is nice to see. I can see the answers on offense, hopefully coming in week 3. But, it's just it was an ugly game, and it was an ugly loss ultimately for the things that went wrong to allow it to happen. So with that being said, like I said, this is going to be kind of a more film-heavy type of aspect of it. But I do think that one key storyline coming out is how the rookies perform, particularly on defense. And Noah Williams was thrust into action due to Christian Fulton going out very early in this game. Obviously, Mike Dana also went out early in this game due to an ankle injury, and we'll talk about the trenches in a bit. But Noah Williams gets thrust into action, has to play a few extra snaps, and I thought ultimately kind of equipped himself better. And so one of the things that we kind of settled on being important was to go through the Noah Williams snaps. And you'll see there's some run plays mixed in here, but obviously most of them are coverage reps, and this first one has him at the top of the screen.
Not today.
Okay.
Not today. Not today. All right. Relax.
I think I could have got away with that one.
Yeah, relax.
Noah Williams is at the top of the screen.
Hey,
locked up with AJ Brown.
That gotta be country.
Yeah, it's for sure country.
It's a hell of a job. I just broke down this play when I posted it to you. It's a hell of a TE stunt by George right here. Puts the right guard in his lap.
Yeah, and I don't believe this one is going to be on one of our trench topics, so you could say that as well. They do run a nice stunt, and I did notice a few extra interesting stunts that they ended up running. And again, you don't have to send cover 0 every time you blitz somebody. It can be a 5-man pressure. This is a nice look to be able to get Karlaftis a little bit like some momentum going towards it. Yep. Be able to kind of push Dickerson back into Hurts and make that throw maybe a little bit off target there.
Great job.
And Noah Williams does a good job sticking to get back with AJ Brown after he after his own chucks him out as a sinking corner. And then ultimately that's not a completed ball. So good job by Noah Williams doing his job there as a cover 2 corner. Nothing really to write home about, but good job also from Karlaftis there getting the pressure. He's playing up here. I think he's at the top of the screen. Yeah, he's at the top of the screen on this play too. Kind of comes down. I mean, he doesn't get washed out of the play, which is a nice thing. A positive as far as that is concerned. Then on this one, he's at the bottom of the screen here, locked up with AJ Brown again. as they send Jahan Dodson in motion. Trent McDuffie follows him across the formation, and then Brown's going to run this little zig route to the bottom of the screen. Kind of gets beat on it, but Jalen Hurts never looked his way. The pass rush obviously is struggling a bit, and ultimately A.J. Brown goes back for a 1-yard gain. But good job of recovering, making sure you keep A.J. Brown in front of you. And there's nothing really to talk about beyond that. Here is a huge play in the game. They're going to run a cover 0 look. You're going to see them send everybody from depth at the second level here. They have man coverage behind it. Brian Cook said they did a good job at sorting out the bunches in this game. I'll say that much. A much better job, obviously, than they did versus the Chargers. But this is a big breakup for Noah Williams at the bottom of the screen here.
Hip, 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 look for ball. Great job. Way to put your hand up first. Great job.
Yeah, I thought this was his best rep of the day. I kind of, when that happened, I was like, who was 20? Oh, yeah, that's Noah.
You're right. Damn sure wasn't Justin Reed. I'm sorry.
DG said that's Justin.
I was like, who was 20? But yeah,
hey,
good rep.
That day at camp. That kid thought that. Is that Justin Reed? I'm like,
Justin Reed gone.
I was like, Lord Jesus.
But this is doesn't overly commit to the inside move here from Devontae Smith. Very patient to play the boundary here. Pushes him, what we always call the red line, which is an imaginary line that's a little bit inside. Is it a midway point between the numbers in the? in the hashes. Yeah, so
right,
it's a midway
right,
point
where
in
that NFL symbol is. Right there.
exactly. Yeah. So midway point in between the numbers and the hashes, and people always say for the wide receivers to stay on that red line to give the quarterback room to throw it to the sideline so they complete those passes. Noel does a good job at shutting that off a little bit there, establishing position, and then, as CJ said, gets his head around, gets his hand up specifically to play the ball, and that's how you obviously create PBUs, but specifically avoid PI calls as well. And is one thing that we emphasize during the scouting is that he has incredibly good ball skills, and that does come with the ability to know when to get your head around and be able to get the ball get your hand in the catch position. So really good job at playing the catch point from Noah Williams there. Like you said, best rep for him.
DG's made a funny point. I know when we were doing our draft prep, he was making funny. He was saying, Trent, don't do this. I'm not trying to dog Trent, but that exact same play happened at the end of the game on the same side of the field, just to go on the other side.
You're going to see. Yeah.
It's so funny.
DG
said this. He's like, how come Noah can do that, but Trent can't do it? I was like, Lord Jesus.
It's just not. Everybody has different skills. Before we do get to the Noah Williams thing, I would say before we get to the one that was completed, Noah Williams here, reacting to the play, just sticks his nose in there. He doesn't do an amazing job, but
big boy coming at you.
Does enough there. But this is the play obviously that CJ is referring to, obviously, where Trent McDuffie ends up getting beat. Noah Williams is at the top of the screen here versus AJ Brown. And Jalen Hurts never really looks at him, because he knows he doesn't have time to. So he throws it up to Devontae Smith on the slot fade, a prayer, and Trent eventually gets his head around, but just not in time. And we're not necessarily going to break this play down any further than this, but the reality of the situation is Trent McDuffie does have a weakness in his game as far as ball skills is concerned. They're more so fine than they are great, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on because there's a play in here when we talk about Watson too. But it's one of those things. He can sometimes get beat, especially down the field, if he's not necessarily fully, in phase to his point. And Hurts underthrowing this ball here actually helps out from that perspective too. You see when a guy like Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl is throwing the ball in stride to what's it called?
To Debo.
To Debo. Trent McDuffie is anticipating when the ball is going to get there, assuming that it's a perfect throw and it's ready and he's able to tip it away. In this case, when the throw is underthrown, or in the Super Bowl's case, when the throw is a little bit underthrown too and late to AJ Brown, sometimes he can just get lost. And it's no Williams. Like I said, when he got drafted, he has the best ball skills of anybody the second that he came into this room. And, he showed it on Sunday. Unfortunately, in this play, Trent got victimized by it.
Back shoulders are tough to guard, man. Usually when you put them in the air, obviously, I would have loved to see maybe guys on the sideline, because it was on our side, to be screaming at him, ball, ball, ball. But those are things you kind of had to just kind of play the DB's hips or play the receiver's hips more so. When you see the ball in the air and he slows down, you slow down, because Trent overran it. So he didn't feel the pace or the tempo of the way Smitty was running. So we'll love to see him time that up a little better. So when the balls come out right here, you see him slowing down, you need to slow down. But see, he overran it. So I think he tried to time it up. He just obviously just got a little aggressive on it. So when you see the receiver start slowing down, it means the ball usually going to slow down. So stay hip to hip as long as you're doing that. So
especially when it's cover zero, he's not slowing down so that he can set you up for another move on top of it. He's slowing down, the ball's out, and he's got to come back to it.
Exactly. Stop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Try to do it, just.
I don't know if Trent is. I kind of feel like Trent is probably used to going up against Pat in training camp and practice or whatever, and used to that ball being maybe a bomb to the end zone. So I think that's what I see. Like, kind of feels like that's his thought here, that this might be a shot play for them to try to get into, especially with Smitty speed out there on the board out there on
Yeah, I mean it's a slot phase. So if I'm in his mind, what I would have done, back it up a little bit, DMac. As soon as he gets off the line here, all right, let it run. Stop. Mm-hmm. Here, I'm just staying right here on his hip. I'm not even going to turn my shoulders. I'm just going to wall him off. Because if I keep him here, all right, let it run a little bit. And the more you run, see, when you're trying to stay there, he tries to go outside to beat the ball. You should just put your hip to his hip. As soon as you put your hip to his hip, if he tries to go over you, it's either going to be an OPI or you're going to get your hands up to knock the ball down. Yeah. He tried to not keep that. There's too much gap in between him and Smitty, which allows you to see now he's in between you and the ball. Yeah. You got to keep your hip to his hip, keep your back to him, and then you can play the ball just like he is. He has to go underneath you or through you to get to the ball. But when you're outside, you lose that connection. That's when Smitty's able to throw you by and then get the back shoulder. So It's just
Kind
about
of
little
feel like
technique things. So.
he turned the wrong way too a little bit.
Exactly. You should be turning this way,
Mhm.
keeping your back to the sideline,
Yeah.
and then wall him off. So then he has to go over you or through you to make a play. So
Yeah.
just little technique things. They didn't really take too many deep shots this game. Obviously, that was one of the bigger ones. But yeah, the one on Noel's rep was more so like, all right, the ball's coming here. I know it's coming. It's going to be straight there. So he just did a better job of keeping his hip to his hip. So.
We'll talk about this as well, but it was a very rudimentary game plan from the Eagles in the sense that they didn't. Not only did they not take very many deep shots, Jalen Hurts has not thrown an intermediate pass in the entirety of his season to this point, and that obviously includes in this game specifically. So it was either I'm getting the ball out quickly or dumping it off short, or hey, down the sideline and hope for the best, especially versus the blitz look. So anyway, the last rep here from Noel Williams at the bottom of the screen. Nothing really. I mean, he does a good job. They've got cover. What's it called? Obviously, two ditch safeties playing a little bit of man here. To the bottom of the screen, and Noel does a good job. He's saying, I know I got help over the top, so I'm going to stay low and inside. And then they throw that underneath route there to get to fourth down. So, yeah, I mean, look, I will say again, I thought Noel Williams did a good job. Can you continue to expect him to do a great job like that? I don't know. But the reality of the situation is you may have to ask him to because, again, I don't think that Shamari Connor in the slot is going to be viable, and you need Trent there. And you need to continue to have Watson on the other side who we'll talk about. But if Fulton can't be counted upon, it's got to be Noel because it's clear that you can't trust Joshua Williams to step up. I know Najee Johnson is on the mend technically in 2 weeks. He's eligible to return. We've seen that experiment. I wouldn't necessarily put him back out there as an outside corner on a consistent basis. Noel Williams should be the guy that you trust to step in if Fulton is not ultimately going to be on the field, which we can't see that he can continue to do so. So any last thoughts before we go ahead and move on?
I will say that I do think that they probably looked at that Cowboys film from the week before. They did a really good job of keeping Jalen Hurts contained in the pocket and not allowing him to kind of leak out and pick up first downs or create yardage with his feet or anything like that. So he didn't get burned on that. So good job to the D-line linebackers.
You always want to get more sacks, but we all know keeping a quarterback in the incompletions are just as good as sacks against quarterbacks like this. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, because they get out the pocket so much. And I'm sure Dallas, like DG said, would have loved to keep him in there so you don't get easy first down. So you may not get a sack, but you force an incompletion or get off the field. So
yeah,
we're going to talk about here. Continue on with the rookie theme, talking about Ashton Gelati's pass rush snaps and then a little bit of Omar Norman Lott's pass rush snaps as well. We'll talk about kind of the pass rush in general in a bit, as we'll take a look at what they did when we didn't send a blitz, and it was just before rushing, which not going to be fun to watch outside of one play. I'll say that. So as far as Omar Norman Lott lined up here as a 3-tech, to the left, or I guess technically to the right of the center, but to the left on the screen. Chris Jones as a 3-tech to his side as well. As far as Omar Norman Lott was concerned, I thought that this is Ashton Gelati. My fault. Yeah, my fault. Ashton Gelati lined up on the edge to Lane Johnson's side. I thought Ashton Gelati throughout the game showed, the ability to bring that hustle that we expected as far as the pass rush was concerned. Nothing too crazy. Right there, he's really just rushing to open up the blitz lane for Shamari Connor. He's coming from, the slot depth, kind of trying to get his hands up there. And he's just really taking Lane out wide to see if he can get Shamari Connor that lane, which he did ultimately. As they double team Charles Omenihu to that side as well. I'll give a shout out real quick. I thought Jaden Hicks and Brian Cook played very well at the safety.
Yeah, the safeties were a lot better this week.
Much better.
I'll give them their credit. They were a lot better this week.
I still don't feel great about Shamari Connor in the slot.
No,
I think we all agree with that one.
I thought Brian Cook and Jaden Hicks did play well in my personal opinion. Gelati lined up here to Lane Johnson's side again with Chris Jones next to him. They run a little bit of a loop, to get a 5-man pressure where Chris Jones is coming all the way around. They got Drew Tranquil coming in on the blitz as well. They had Omar Norman Lott drop out, which was a good sign, at least for his health, I suppose. And then they have Leo Chanel come to his side as well. So Gelati takes the double team, but to you guys' point, this was one of those snaps in the game, and it was a lot lesser, I'll say, compared to the Justin Herbert, kind of performance where they failed to keep contained and really Leo Chanel there bench pressures Saquon Barkley, but ultimately loses contain in the process of doing so. And Hurts escapes out the side to be able to scramble out that way. So nothing really to talk about as far as Ashton Gelati on that play. Here he's lined up against Jordan Mailata, and it should be said, like, both of these tackles are excellent. So you take that for what it is. Here they again send a little bit of extra, but look, it's a 5-man look, and then they send a 6th guy off the edge as well. Chris Jones tasked with being able to kind of collapse. Same thing with Charles Omenihu. Gelati's coming around on the stunt, Bolden adding on to the pressure late, and ultimately they throw the slant to A.J. Brown underneath. So nothing really crazy as far as Ashton Gelati is concerned on that play too. But at least they're trying to get creative. You could tell if Hurts had held the ball for a little bit longer, Ashton Gelati was going to have a shot at being able to get to him very quickly there. Even with that completion to A.J. Brown, Ashton Gelati lined up here on the right edge again over Jordan Mailata on the right side there. Kind of again sending extra pressure once again. Giant Spags had that blitz dial all the way up to 100. I'll tell you what. And then again, he's just trying to get wide and trying to open up some things for these blitzing lanes. Which, I mean, you get Karlaftis free, but again, Hurts was getting the ball out very quickly and very shallow if needed. And so this was the play I was referring to earlier, where if this is right before the Devontae Smith slot fade, by the way, Trent McDuffie is able to get to the catch point, tip this ball up, away from A.J. Brown. If this ball gets caught, the thing bounced the right way for the Chiefs, this ends in an interception, and that touchdown drive, that ends, or that, is really sparked by the Devontae Smith slot fade that McDuffie gets beat on and ultimately doesn't exist. So those are little margins, unfortunately, that you can lose games on.
Ball stays in the air just a half a second longer. Jaden would have got it.
To say the least. Ashton Gelati, Jordan Mailata, once again, they send a blitz to his side, and Shamari Connor comes free. And actually, Shamari Connor and Brian Cook comes free. Yeah. But again, when you're talking about these blitz type of looks, the edges are just trying to get wide to open up the gaps for the blitzers to come through. This is the shot to McDuffie right there over or to Devonta Smith over McDuffie there. And again, like I said, just it would have been erased if that previous one had been intercepted. But again, nothing really to talk about as far as Ashton Gelati on that play either.
McDuffie was so pissed he gave up that
body slam that nigga.
So mad he gave up that play.
Because he knows, bro, he was right there. He just
right.
He was right there.
So that was the entirety of Ashton Gelati's real pass rush reps, and I know that seems incredibly underwhelming, and the answer is yeah, it kind of was. I didn't see anything on tape really that had me incredibly excited about Ashton Gelati, but I will say as far as the run game was concerned, he was hustling, and he's going to continue to hustle while he's out there. And given the fact that you're not getting anything from guys like Mike Danner right now, obviously he obviously goes out and is hurt in this game. Keep playing him because at least he's going to be out there and hustle. You guys got any Ashton Gelati related thoughts?
No, I just think obviously is what you said, seeing the hustle and the effort to want to go out there and actually try to do something. I appreciate and applaud. I think he's got a little juice though that they could be able to use, especially with more reps as it comes along. So I think you'll see some good things from him, especially as we get further on to the season. Something that CJ always says that, it kind of takes them a little bit, especially rookies, to kind of ramp up and get used to the speed of this game. So I think that's what you're kind of seeing from him at this point. Same thing with Omar Norman Lott. That's a word.
Omar Norman Lott.
Yeah, it's a lot to say. But yeah, same thing with him too as well. Just trying to get used to the speed of this league. But definitely love to see the effort from all the rookies and just the willingness to go out there and try to do something, anything.
What's it? Anything?
Guys, we got great news. Jimmy Fallon is going to be on New Heights tomorrow.
You know what that means?
I don't care about that show. Catch the ball.
So moving on, we can go to Omar Norman Lott. Omar Norman Lott's portion. Obviously, this is his first game back from his ankle injury during the preseason. Again, I thought ultimately he looked a little bit more like himself that he looked like at Tennessee. Still, not necessarily being the disruptor that obviously we saw at Tennessee, but it is what it is. I thought that first step good off was kind of nice. Ultimately, he gets kind of caught up in a crowd here, but he does end up trying to push some people back.
What is Twitch doing? What do you do? I just want to know. What's the plan? What are you doing?
Back, what is he doing? He's inside here.
I believe it's because they. Yeah, that's
okay.
So
what are you doing?
Right, George is supposed to take that guard inside so that they can open up the lane for either Drew Tranquil or Jaden Hicks from the slot to get through on the blitz. So he's just kind of,
I mean, they both clear down to give Jaden one-on-one, but the back picks it up. So you were thinking, like, obviously, when we in a perfect world, you were thinking maybe the center doesn't overtake him, and then George is left with the guard, and then the tackle's left with obviously Leo, and then obviously it gets the one-on-one for Jaden. But they picked it up correctly. They slid into it, which put Saquon on the backside, which picked up Jaden. So that's just a good protection. Get ripped by that. But George definitely does. If I'm George, like, bro, I know you're trying to clear the lane, but just rush him. Like, you're trying to clear the lane, but they slid right into it. So you can't really, like, George could have had a better move, obviously. But, I mean, they were trying to clear for Jaden. But who's that? A.J. Dillon, he's there to pick it up. So can't really get too mad about it.
One thing I will know, Chris Jones is rushing to the outside here to try and keep contained. Omar Normalad, if you're going to run this type of thing, and obviously it's not designed for Omar Normalad to beat his guy, he's got to find a way to get closer to close off that B gap there, because otherwise Hurts can easily escape that way. If
he wanted to,
yeah. If that's the point of the rush, throw the ball and it gets tipped up. This is a bad Jalen Hurts game, man. This is not good.
He's got a lot of games like this.
I said that after the game. I said it in Sports After Dark. I was like, if you're an Eagles fan and you were, I mean, granted, you win. You take a dub wherever you can get a dub. Like,
boy, do you.
I wouldn't.
Whatever Saquon Barkley getting paid, double it because he needs
the last 2 weeks. The offensive effort from that Eagles squad, I wouldn't be too particularly happy.
If y'all ain't have 26, none of that shit happened. He's the MVP of that team. He carried y'all boys. But this passing game, it's the same, if not last year, if not worse.
Yeah. And that's not to say that, and I don't want to say that is coming down on Jalen Hurts.
Just being honest, bro.
Yeah, like just honest.
Everybody said this.
It just doesn't look like it's clicking for them either. Especially the connection with him and AJ Brown. You can kind of tell in AJ Brown's presser that he's a little frustrated.
And the funny thing is, 2 years ago, I think AJ Brown broke the record or tied the record for like most 150-yard games in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go from that to this in the last 2 years. So for him, it's like I was breaking records, getting 100-yard games willingly, and now he's struggling to get 50 yards in a game. So I know when you add Saquon Barkley, it changes your offense, but to just strictly not essentially cut him out, it's damn near made him not a need for the offense because he just doesn't touch the ball enough to get enough plays. So if it wasn't for Saquon Barkley in that run game, really in the whole line, I don't know what they would have done last year. There's a reason why people didn't think they were going to go to the bowl, but they got hot. They ran the ball really well, and this is what they can do when they can dominate games up front. So. God, we got to catch that. I got to tip that. Oh, my
God. Bring the ball!
Because who the
just give me one.
I know he tied it up because he think it's coming straight to him, but he tipped it up. I was like, God.
Knew I shouldn't eat that popcorn.
Oh, it's coming at a different. It's coming at a different tempo. He think it's coming to him, and then when he tipped it like speeded it up. It's like, oh my God, it was right there.
I knew I should have ate that popcorn.
Hey, Brucey, my name's Brucey. I should have ate that popcorn.
I should have ate that popcorn.
No, I knew I should have ate that popcorn.
All right. Omar Norman lined up.
It really, he did. If Alcantara don't tip that, that's a pick. It's just he tipped it and took off the tempo. So Trent was thinking it's coming straight to him, and it goes up. It's just, I got so lucky. That's two picks that we should have. That's two.
This is one of the very few, true pass rush opportunities you're going to see here. And Omar does a good job kind of pushing him back, but ultimately, Hurts is just getting depth enough to where, and especially nobody else is wanting to create pressure. Even pushing him back there, doesn't necessarily matter. And it's just, again, I saw a little bit of the first step ability, which was nice, but he was a little bit more agile side to side than he was, specifically for what I've seen from him with the Chiefs. And I need to see that come back for him to be the interior disruptor that we drafted, that I was excited to add to this team out of Tennessee. And I just hope that the weight game doesn't end up taking that away from him. Here he's going one-on-one with Tyler Steen. Again, Steen is able to stonewall him. Nothing really much to talk about there. Saquon did step out right there too. Here lined up over Steen again. kind of rush outside. Does a good job, in my opinion, being able to swipe up and being able to get Steen's hands off of him, and then tries to bend and doesn't necessarily get all the way to that corner. Does do a good job here staying in the play as Charles Omenihu creates that pressure on the outside. Chris Jones walls off the escape to the outside, and ultimately is able to kind of push pull Steen off of him and be able to get to Jalen Hurts trying to escape up the middle for what was a very fun hit.
Yeah,
it was a WWE style finisher. I'll tell you that much.
a minute he was like, "That was my sack."
Because Charles did a great job of obviously you want to force a box. So obviously like DMac just stayed. Chris stays outside, forced the cut out the outside lane. Eventually the pocket's cut in half. Charles makes him stay on the left side of the pocket, pushes it right into Omar. So now he has nowhere to go. If he goes left, he's going to hit Chris. He goes straight, he hits Omar. Right, he goes to Charles. So great job of not overrunning the rush by Charles and looping back in and don't give him a lane. So
love the energy and juice he played with too. Charles, I felt like had a lot better game this game.
And I will highlight again with Charles. He does a really good job here getting that hand into Mailata's chest to really stun him backwards and then using that to get inside quickly and getting Hurts' face ultimately and force Hurts into scramble mode. And, Chris Jones shutting it off and Omar Norman finishing it well.
Can we see more reps with him and Chris on the same side?
Exactly.
Please, like
Chris and Charles for sure.
That tandem on the same side with Chris on the inside, and I feel like Charles on the outside is so much better together.
We saw that 2 years ago before the injury. That was a big thing for him.
Like Spags has got to get them on the same side a lot more. And I want to say one thing too. Chris Jones, go back to the interior, please. I don't mind some snaps in certain situations.
If there's like a bad tackle, I'll mind you taking advantage of it. But weeks like this, you're going to get these guys, just stay inside, bro.
Just stay inside, dog.
Unless you're doing a stunt, stay inside for sure.
Because, bro, never mind.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. But yeah, and Karlaftis gets the chip hip help here, but he still, does his job as far as staying on the outside contain. Omar Norman Light, Karlaftis, what's it called? Chris Jones on the inside, Karlaftis and Gelati out wide. We saw this rep earlier. Again, kind of just trying to make sure you open up the blitz lanes. And this was the one again, just tipped up, couldn't end up getting it done. But as far as Omar Norman Light on this play, does kind of get into Dickerson's chest. Doesn't necessarily fully push him back though, as far as the one-on-one is concerned though. And then I think this will be the final one. This isn't a pass rush rep, but I did want to at least throw it in here. Ashton Gelati does a good job on this play after Chris Jones really creates the havoc in the backfield, beating the kind of the Dickerson block immediately, forces Barkley to try and sidestep it, and Gelati stays with the play and is right there to meet him with Leo. And the whole does a good job for his run stuff there. So.
That's the Chris Jones I'm used to right there. Beating one-on-one blocks, making him look stupid. Only better thing you would have asked for is him to make the play. Obviously, Saquon Barkley jumped out of the hole and then guys rally. But when he plays like that, that makes everyone's job easier. But like DG said earlier, he has to win early. When you take so long to win, then obviously they're going to start double teaming you. But whenever you do get a one-on-one, there's no excuse, Chris. You have to win. We just don't have enough depth like we used to. So great job by him on that play. Just need to see more of that now. That's all we're asking for.
We didn't highlight it earlier. And I'll say it, or I should say we didn't highlight it last week specifically, but Chris Jones had a hell of a day versus the run versus the Chargers too. It was a big piece of being able to limit the run attack as well. So with that being said, we're going to move on here to get to kind of the pass rush. And I wanted to specifically bring up the pass rush reps that did not involve blitzes, because obviously this is the major, in my opinion, problem with the Chiefs, specifically on defense as well. It wasn't great. It just wasn't great. There were some snaps obviously here that you see Chris Jones isn't on the field, Jerry Tillery, no more normal on the inside, George Karlaftis and Leo Chanel rushing on the outside. It's just, this doesn't present any problems for the Eagles offensive line in any real shape or form. Again, Omar Normalai kind of stood up. Tillery is double teamed. Chanel is doing his best out there, but that's Jordan Mailata. That's not going to work. And George Kloptis is stood up by Lane Johnson, and Hurts kind of has all day to dump it off to Saquon Barkley underneath.
I like if you can go back to the end zone look, I think, or sorry, the wide look. I think I wanted to talk about Jaden on this play. He does a great job of allowing this to even be a check down because he wanted to go to Smitty here in that slot fade again.
Let me see
If they allow you, sure. There. Oh, that's a for play before.
No, that's not it. Yeah, I was about to say I know it's in here, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it specifically. It's in here, so we'll get to it as far as Watson is concerned. We'll get to it. But yeah,
great rally, great tackle.
Yeah, great rally, great tackle. Good job on the back end to make sure that that it has to be a check down ultimately. And I'll say again, the back end, in my opinion, was really good throughout the day.
They talked a lot more.
Yeah, and they forced Jalen Hurts to continue to take check downs and short things and not have anything easy over the middle of the field as well. So another play, they only end up sending 4. They drop Ashton Gelati out. They send Charles Omenihu off to the side. Karlaftis and Jones and McDuffie kind of come to Jalen Hurts' front side. Karlaftis pushing up towards the middle. Chris Jones locked up there, and then Trent McDuffie kind of getting blocked around the edge by Saquon Barkley. Again, good job by Karlaftis being able to push the center back into Jalen Hurts' lap, forces the high throw.
So you did do something, Joe. Okay.
For the Noah Williams pass breakup as well.
That was a TE stunt. You got to rush like that more.
Right.
I saw a little bit more creativity in the use of those stunts as well.
When you're inside, obviously you can't be as finesse. I think that play when he spinned, I'm like, bro, you're inside with a guard. If you're gonna do anything, just rush and bull rush him like you did here, and try to put the guard in his lap to disrupt timing, trying to spin move and all that. You do that shit on the outside if you have a matchup, like obviously with a tight end or a slower tackle. But here, just use your speed, use your strength, and try to put the guard in his lap and push Jalen Hurts off his spot. And he did that in this rep. So.
This is why I requested tonight that we show things like this, because when you're watching the game, it's a different perspective. You don't look at everything on the field
it's too fast,
or whatever. Everything's going a little bit too fast. So when I initial thoughts after the game was like the pass rush just seemed like it had no creativity at all. And then you go back and you watch the film and you see, okay, they were doing some things, some stunts, some twist here, opening up a blitz lane, or this is this guy's assignment at this point in time. So, pass rushing with a plan, but still, man, it's gotta turn into some results, dog.
Slowly but surely. This is better than week 1. We'll see what they do on Sunday. So.
For sure.
And again, the Eagles are a really good offensive line.
Yeah, we got those 2 boys tackles. Bro, Lane Johnson is so good, bro.
This is a very difficult matchup.
Very good.
Charles Omenihu, Chris Jones, I believe it's Jerry Tillery next to.
Yep, Tillery.
Yeah, there's Jerry Tillery next to him, and George Karlaftis over to the right side here. 4-man pass rush, nothing really to write home about. Jalen Hurts takes his check down pretty quickly over the Jahan Dotson.
Get there, Nick.
Bolden rallies and tackles him as well. Omar Nummerlot and
still loving it. Sorry, my bad.
No, you good. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I'm still loving the combination of Chris and Charles being on the same side. I think that should remain a good focus.
It forces double teams. If you're going to isolate them, that means they're going to get one-on-one. See a double team. Now you give Charles a one-on-one. I'm much more comfortable with Charles getting a one-on-one at this point. And you double team George, which is no disrespect to Tillery, but in that position, I'd rather have Omar trying to rush there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately, what you're seeing here, Chris Jones creates the one-on-one for other people, and they don't necessarily get all the way to Jalen Hurts, but they do him in a little bit there and make him a little bit skittish and make him go all the way to check down to Saquon on the outside and Jamari Connor,
get your head on the outside.
Dribbled it there, but fortunately did enough to get Saquon out.
Dribble,
I guess technically.
Put your head on the outside, son.
That boy, Allen Iverson. That boy.
That's a grown man right there. But put your head on the outside. You put your head on the inside. That's what happens.
That's a balanced breakfast right there. One of my favorite quotes from the Creed series from Saquon Barkley.
Better get your head. Better get your lunch pail ready, sir.
Oh man. But again, just to give Jalen Hurts a little bit something to worry about there, and he just gets the check down because he's a little bit concerned there. To at least finish the play there, short of the sticks. Another four-man pass rush: Leo Chanel, Charles Omenihu, George Kalafdis, and Chris Jones over to the right side there. They ended up double teaming both Chris Jones and Omenihu, and washing out things. Chanel was kind of just Chanel's not having a great time with Jordan Mailata. I know people do the whole Leo Chanel rushing off the edge thing. I understand it completely. I think there are times and places for it. The times and places are more so if
Not
you
this week.
five man down fronts, and certainly when you're not facing the tackle combination of Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, because the reps are going to look like this, where Leo Chanel is pushed back to the line of scrimmage like it's a run play, because he's not good enough to do those sorts of things. And also, I'm really good. We'll talk about this Watson rep here, but I'm really glad they picked up the flag because it shouldn't have been a flag. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Ball was way overthrown. I was like, what y'all looking at?
We'll talk
Well,
about
then he stopped. I was like, he stopped on the route. Like, how do you
Well,
call?
And the
we'll
ball
talk
was
about
gone.
we'll talk about it on
Way
the sideline
gone.
copy. They kind of got the guards or the linebackers lined up over the guards with Leo Chanel and Nick Bolton here. Charles Omenihu, George Kalafdis, and Chris Jones coming off the edge. They end up sending Leo, and they don't really run the game here, but it really is more of a three-man pass rush with Leo spying, which, again, I want to see more of this versus Justin Herbert.
Last week, made adjustments. DMac, we call that adjustments. Great job.
Good adjustment made by Spags to have this in the game plan. And then Leo kind of tries to add on to the rush. But again, back in the secondary doing a really good job of not giving Jalen Hurts any outlets, at least, even while the pass rush is clearly struggling. Karlaftis eventually gets a little bit of pressure and forces him to throw the ball underneath the A.J. Brown coming back to the ball for no gain, too. So, hey, do your job there. Pass rush up front specifically, and on the back end really did, too. Hey, we're just going to play coverage and make sure that eventually somebody's going to get home and force him to get this ball out. I think this is the last one here. Omenihu, Karlaftis, Chris Jones on the edge versus Lane Johnson. Chanel, again, playing a little bit more of that spiral, kind of the same with Bolton, even though he's kind of matched up one-on-one with Saquon Barkley. Chris Jones starts to win inside on the bull rush, gets the ball out underneath, and Alcantara is tackled on to get that fourth down stop short of the sticks, too. So, hey, you pick and choose your shots. I would say the win from Chris Jones is a little bit late here, but ultimately gets the job done, forcing him to get the ball out earlier than maybe he would have wanted to. So, yeah, take that for what it is. I will continue to say this, and I'll ask you guys how you feel about it. But I think this pass rush is still a massive issue. Charles Omenihu looked better, which was good to see. You're not getting anything from Jerry Tillery. I think Ashton Gelati, you don't want them a lot, look rookies. They look like they're hustling out there. Omar looked a little bit healthier, which is nice to see, but still not an incredibly disruptive player. It's tough sledding for a four-man pass rush with this team right now. It just is. That's just the reality of the situation. So that being said, if you're going to add anything to this team, I truly do feel this way. I think it has to be D-line. I know that people have their question marks as far as running back and wide receiver, and I get them wholeheartedly. I really do understand them. But you got wide receivers coming back. The running back situation kind of is what it is. You're just going to hope the pass game makes it better. And honestly, they can still make some tweaks to it, and we'll talk about the run game in a bit. This defense needs help, and they specifically need help on the defensive line. That if you're going to make any acquisition, in my opinion, it should be along the defensive line. People keep saying call Miami for Tyreek Hill. No, you should be calling for Bradley Chubb.
So, for sure.
So that's my 2 cents. Do you guys have any feelings as far as the four-man pass rush is concerned?
Yes.
Never have enough rushers. Never have enough.
I sat and watched the Texans and Bucks game last night, and I was so jealous of the Texans defensive line. Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are incredible. Like, they are. The way they how fast they can get off the snap. I mean, even though they lost that game last night, they gave Baker Mayfield fits. Like, he was under duress for a lot of that game. And credit to him for being able to do what Baker does and take his team down the field and score at the end. But yeah, man, I've been saying it, bro. Like, you gotta go find a guy that can win with speed. That's what this league is turning into. You know, I need a guy that can just on third downs just put him in and just tell him go get the quarterback. That's it. Don't worry about setting the edge. Don't worry about dropping into coverage like Spags likes to do or whatever. Just go get the quarterback. Bend the corner and get the quarterback. And create some kind of pressure, man. Like that's what this league is turning into. You gotta have those guys. You know, we just don't have those guys at the edge position. I feel like that will obviously help the interior a lot more at this point. If you got a guy that can pose that kind of threat, but they don't have him, and they did, and they let him go, and you played against him on Sunday.
And he's currently number 3 in the league as far as pass rush run rate is concerned. He made a few run stops as well because apparently
because we can't stop the run.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I understand. Like I said, I love Steve Spagnuolo, and I think he's an incredible genius and hell of a defensive coordinator. But at some point, bro, you got to realize like these quarterbacks are getting a lot more athletic. They're getting the ball out a lot quicker. You got to do something. You know, I can't have 2 Ford F-150s on each edge trying to get to the quarterback. Go get me a Ferrari. I need a McLaren. I need something. You know, it's just gonna force pressure a lot quicker. So, I feel like Brave Beach is more than willing to do that. He's been showing you that he's willing to do that, but Spags got to use them. You know, all these other packages for all these other things and all these blitz packages and everything you can come up with, you can't mean to tell me you can't come up with one package for a third down, a third and long for a pass rush specialist?
Gotta get some speed out there. Gotta get a little bit.
And but I've obviously done my rant. I think that Spagnuolo's control over the personnel decisions has hurt this team ultimately, and I think that it is most indicative up front, whether it's FAU being heavier and never developing into what could have been promised out of K-State, or more number lot adding weight and not looking like his explosive self, or just the fact that this team is lacking a 4-man pass rush. It's just the reality of the situation. But yeah, we'll see. At a certain point, you would think a guy like Spagnuolo, who has built to an extent his reputation off of being able to have a 4-man pass rush and doing everything off of that, obviously of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl in 2007, you would think he'd realize that, hey, I need help and get that extra help, but it has not come
help
to yet.
Me.
We'll see. CJ, you did end up asking about this particular play from the back end, and I'm sure it'll come up on the Watson copy, but I'm willing to show it here. They've got Jaden Hicks kind of mulling around as a middle field closed safety. I believe it's McDuffie at the bottom of the screen, Watson at the top of the screen. They've got Connor kind of playing at the nickel. Or no, they basically got him as the third safety, big nickel, I'll say. And then they've got Chanel, Bolton, and Tranquil in kind of a 3-3 up front with Omar Live, Tillery, and Karlaftis there. So 3 safeties, 3 corners, 3 linebackers, 3 down linemen as well. And I guess they're going to rotate here to a cover 2. Yeah, so rotate out to a cover 2. Look with Cook and Hicks deep, I should say specifically.
Great job, Jaden, getting width and depth on this play because he wanted to take that shot, but Hayden obviously kept his eyes right there. Didn't fall for it, obviously, because obviously Jalen was looking left. Our left, and then obviously was trying to get towards that slot fade. Thank you. And then as he did that, once he widened and got depth, then Jalen had to move off of it, come to the left side, and then that gave Shamari and B Cook time to recognize and break on their ride. So this is a great job by Jalen. This is one of the plays we struggled with last week, so I like to see the adjustment here.
Yeah, as CJ said, Jalen's going to give a little bit of a look down to the bottom, want to unwind it, but Hicks does a good job getting over there. Forces Hurts to come back to the top of the screen, get the ball out, realize nothing really is going to come open because Watson does a good job sinking underneath Calcaterra on the corner route. And so he dumps it off to Saquon Barkley underneath, and Connor does a good job triggering.
That's how you tackle that time, Shamari. There you go.
Well, you can tell he tried to do it. He stayed inside there on that play because he felt like Watson was going to be outside. Obviously the one that Saquon ends up breaking. they didn't end up doing a good job of being able to do so.
Using your leverage. See, this time you put your helmet on the left side, knowing you have help coming here. When you know you're the only guy over there, you should get your helmet on the outside. Use the sideline as leverage. So if you do miss, you have help coming from you on the inside. So great job to trap him. Jay Watt came out there.
You want the behind on that play? You behind the quarterback?
Yeah, the end zone view on this is actually from the reverse angle, so it'd be behind from the Chiefs. We looked at it earlier.
We just didn't see the wide view.
Yeah. So with that being said, that's kind of the pass rush and rookie segment. As far as Jalen Watson is concerned, who I thought had a really good game, this game specifically. I pulled a few of his reps as far as some of the coverage reps that he had throughout the game. This one was the first one. It's really
Great job being physical.
Nice little swing out to the side, but again, this was indicative, in my opinion, of the effort that was a lot better in this
Look
game.
at rookie year, Jay Watt right there.
Yeah, I said he brought his lunch pail today. Brought the lunch pail to work today. Yeah, he putting in that work.
Shoves AJ Brown aside and says,
"Get off
there."
Yeah, come here. There we go.
Upends him quickly there.
Yeah, that's the Jalen Watson I know. That's the Jalen Watson I remember.
Fact.
That other guy in Brazil, I don't know who he was.
Ooh,
don't bring him.
Good undercut. There you go, Maury.
Bottom of the screen. Again, more of a cover 2 look, not straight man. AJ Brown on the quick in breaker here. Gets very close to the first round. Gets upended by Shamar Connor on that play too. This is a third down. I think the big thing here, again, Jalen Watson, in my opinion, does his job, kind of hems up AJ Brown quickly, and then he's sinking underneath for what the corner route is going to come. Really, what this play comes down to is Shamari Connor doesn't do a great job.
Chris Jones is about to smoke Jalen.
Well, actually, I shouldn't say Shamari Connor didn't do.
More so, Ashton Delati. I mean, you're dropping the coverage.
They're dropping again. Spags killing me. Dropping.
I love this, bro.
Stop
doing this, bro.
Killing me dropping defensive ends into coverage here because Ashton Gelati, he's a defensive end, so he doesn't know. He doesn't understand that it's a hook zone specifically to the bottom of the field, and he knows he has help in the middle of the field there with Connor. He's killing me in this case because this is his area. He has to be there, but to ask him to do that is just.
This is a situation. If you're going to have an edge drop into coverage, I don't mind you doing this. This is a spot for Leo Chenal, not Ashton Gelati. A more awareness, a guy that's used to dropping in coverage. He knows I need more width because if Ashton Gelati gets more width, he gets to the numbers right here. He can make this play and probably bat that ball down or tackle it before AJ even gets the ball. But he's too inside. He's thinking drop straight back like a hook curl instead of getting more width on this. And then he allowed AJ to catch the ball right in front of him where you should have been. You should have been right there on the 4, on the 40 instead of the 0. You should have been up higher.
What's that Drewski mean when he's pointing to himself? I know that's how Ashton Gelati and more number.
You want me to do that?
You want me to drop
me? You sure?
Yeah, so Spags killing me.
I love the concept, but just know your personnel. In that position, we need to have Leo on the field if we're going to do this. Just know who you have out there.
Killing me dropping defensive ends here. But yeah, this is Ashton Gelati being put in a situation that he shouldn't be put into. Point blank period. Good job by Jalen Watson that play. Here sorting out a stack to the bottom of the screen. Keeps his width, make sure that AJ Brown or Devontae Smith there isn't coming outside. Throw ends up obviously going to the top of the screen, gets tipped around, so nothing really to talk about on that play. Again, getting depth, kind of a cover 6 look.
Yeah, more like you got two to the top, 4 at the bottom. So
yeah,
2 to the top. Yeah, you got 2 high, at fourth. Trent is up top, has a half flat. So yeah.
Stays. No, we went back a little bit too far there.
The ball's going to come our way this week, DG. It's going to come our way this week.
Yeah. This week,
we getting close.
We close. Listen, man. If Russ throws you one, we
got to make a play. Facts.
Make a play.
He gonna give you an opportunity, just like Geno Smith does. Ain't that right, DMac?
I know you. Good job by Watson on the play. Who's said out there in the middle of the field? Because Drew comes on the blitz. Is that Shamari Connor?
Yeah, up top. Yep. You got B Cook as deep there
on the logo.
Down. Yeah. He does. Deep Shamari then right there. B Cook.
Yeah, Shamari's trying to wall off that middle there, and to get that.
Make him throw it short. B Cook comes off, makes a tackle. Great job. They did a great job this better week of communicating and recognizing concepts.
Yes.
They were passing things off. So B Cook knows, hey, I don't have to chase this. I have Jay Watt and Shamari behind me.
Yes.
So obviously he sees this deep corner route coming, pass it off, break on the flat. Now I'm here to make a tackle rally. Last week we wouldn't have made that. We would have chased this and then left a guy wide open for a big play. So way better job of recognizing concepts this week.
Yeah, Cook and Hicks did a good job of coming downhill all day and being able to stop guys short. And so this is
that's the tandem I expect to see all year.
Watson at the top of the screen here, sinking underneath, kind of a cover two look. This is the one we kind of talked about earlier. Again, does his job, make sure that corner route isn't open, and then ultimately when the check down does end up coming to his side, it triggers with Shamari Connor to get this tackle here on the outside of Saquon Barkley to help out.
Rally, tackle. There we go.
Watson, bottom of the screen. Devontae Smith.
Short motion. Breaking
Cover
speed
two
out.
look. Playing it inside. Hurts ends up throwing it up there due to the TE stunt that ends up being able to create that pressure in his lap. Again, good technique by Watson. Watson, the bottom of the screen versus A.J. Brown again. Man coverage. Smitty catches the underneath route. They rally and tackle well, but again, hey, Watson does a good job playing.
Bro, look how fast Jake breaks on his ball, bro. No disrespect to Justin Reed. He's not doing this, bro.
I love it.
Like before the ball's even gone, Jake's breaking. And I think these are the things that DG was talking about. I know, like, from a mental standpoint, DG, he has a lot to catch up on from Justin. But athletically, Justin Reed couldn't do this, bro. This is a catch and a broken tackle for an extra 5 or 10 yards, bro.
The kid
that was routine last year. He made this play effortlessly, bro.
That kid has all pro potential written all over him, dog.
Before the ball is even gone, he's already breaking.
I know we said that about some safeties that we've drafted before, bro.
Get on that right there.
That kid has it. He's got it.
I agree.
He just needs time.
Spaz has got to put him on the field a lot. I'm glad he did this week. It seemed like that was a more emphasis to put him on the field a lot more. But yes, it boils down to yes, he's gonna make mistakes at certain points in times, bro, just because of how young he is. But dog, put his athleticism on the field and watch it shine.
Next play, Watson at the top of the screen again, going against A.J. Brown. Kind of zone chuck as they cover two.
Bullet.
Get off.
A.J. Brown's a strong man, bro.
Yes, he is.
As a grown man.
You made a crazy catch later on. What you do?
Bro, that one hand, oh my God. I was like, geez,
insane. Again, little cover six look. Yeah, little cover six look.
Another 4
balls
bottom
inside.
Yep.
My better communication in zone coverage this week.
Pass off a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You gotta have Shamari Connor finish that play better, but definitely a lot better
You
communication.
gotta make the tackle for sure.
Man coverage look, bottom of the screen. Get Devontae Smith, make sure there's nothing open here. This is the one where obviously I'm happy again that they did not throw that or they picked up that flag because again, Watson does a great job staying in phase with Devontae down the field. You know,
But
Devontae stops and Jalen Watson is a human being who's entitled to stay in the place in which he currently is. And then Devontae Smith tries to run through him, which is not pass interference. Because
like wherever the PI, and the ball was so gone, it couldn't even been PI. It wasn't even catchable.
You don't get pass interference for trying to run through a player.
The ball was way over his head. Where do you
as a ref, and I don't know how long this ref has been in the league.
That was so bad, bro.
You see a guy stop and try to throw a flag on, like he stopped his route. He stopped running. It's like how can that be even remotely be pass interference?
And it wasn't catchable to CJ's point. So, but yeah, good job by Watson staying in phase all the way down the field with Devontae Smith. Here, bottom of the screen against Dotson. A.J. Brown catches a slant underneath on the top of the screen. Bottom of the screen again. I think Dotson again, right? Yeah. So this was the A.J. Brown catch, which is insane. I don't know how A.J. Brown makes this catch. He caught it behind his head, like here. I don't know how he makes this catch because he stumbles
top 3 for
his route. And
he just went. The ball's late.
I'll be honest, that would have been a pick if he didn't get his hand up.
Facts. That's the third time. That's the third time we could have had a pick, bro. I know, but this is the reason why a lot of fans are upset about him not getting the ball. He makes plays like this. Like, why is he getting 8 targets a game? I'm like, they're passing. The offense isn't built like that. He makes catches like that look routine, bro. That's why he's top 3. AJ's elite, man.
There's not a lot you can do about that. This is one of them plays.
He caught that ball late behind his head. Like he let it go past him. And was
AJ
like,
Brown
let me
being
grab
AJ
that.
Brown.
Like, bro, like he's just nice, bro.
Jalen Watson, bottom of the screen, cover 0.
Great job, Trent. Look at the feet. When you watch him break on it, I love that.
Yeah, really good job by Trent here.
Here.
You're going to see the difference between Watson and Trent at the bottom of the screen. Watson gives up a little bit of separation when Devontae ends up stopping here. Trent is sitting on that route there. Where Jalen has to throw it out of bounds.
And I would say that's
great. That's his strength.
That's his strength right there. When we talk about skills, that's Trent McDuffie. That's what makes him an all-pro. Is that
breaking off balls for sure.
Those kind of routes, the slant routes that you see. How many times did you see on some of those slant routes that he was in there for a
PBU or a tackle? Facts.
Yeah, like that's his strength, man. I understand a lot of people would like to see him get a lot more interceptions and get his hands on the ball a lot more, but it's not.
Every corner has a weakness. You just got to work on it to get better, which he's only in. I know it's crazy to say it's year 4, which goes by so fast.
Yeah.
He has a lot of room to get better because we didn't see him get multiple picks till last year.
Yes.
Maybe he builds on that this year and starts seeing more of it. So, and obviously when you're in camp, he probably doesn't get thrown at as much naturally. So, got to get used to getting that many guys having targeted you. So,
yeah. So, good job by Trevor McDuffie. And again, these are the things that don't show up on highlight films or when you're watching the game and stuff. You don't see these things. So
that's why I like posting these clips after the game so I can show fans, like DG said, things that we miss. Because there's 80-something plays in a football game. You're not going to see everything. You're going to miss 50 things, like DMac just said. So us doing this helps you guys learn and see what the coaches and more so the players are trying to do, and you can appreciate the things on the field more. So
what they say, that eye in the sky don't lie. So if you're a fan and you're a new fan or anything like that, I'm not saying you got to watch a lot of film like we do, but just view the game.
Just try.
Yeah, from this viewpoint, it'll teach you a lot more of what's actually going on out there, and it'll help you understand that some things don't look the way they look on TV.
I know a lot of people don't do this. I think I'm probably the weirdo that does that. I don't watch the game with the audio on. I really don't. I don't like to be distracted. I don't like to hear extra noises. I want to focus on a player or a concept in the play. And I think kind of like this, it helps you pay attention to things more.
Yes.
I'm replaying this because it's good cover 2 man trail technique from Watson. He gets a little bit beat off the line in a way that I wouldn't prefer. The thing is, I think a little bit here in this case in which he's giving that inside stem, I should say, you've got help there and Cook is going to drive on it. Be able, in my opinion, to stay outside a little bit more disciplined than following him inside like he did. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Hurts is not throwing the ball far enough to make that happen anyway. But
could be good. Loki trying to bait him to see if he can throw it. I think if he does throw it, that gets picked for sure.
He was going to get back over to get it. So good trail technique. I would have seen him stay a little bit better in phase there. A little bit nitpicky there. Jalen Watson, where's he at in this?
Another empty sets right here.
Yeah, top of the screen versus AJ Brown.
Give me all that.
Again, AJ Brown's just tough.
Sure. That's a tough play, man.
Yeah, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win every.
He's gonna catch it. You just got to get him on the ground before the sticks, and I think I think that was short right there. So
you're facing an all-pro receiver, man, a guy who a lot of people consider a top 5 guy in this
Another
league.
0 rep. Great job, Noel. Great job.
Yeah, Noel does a good job here. Watson at the top of the screen against the tight end.
That head turned around. Rook.
He was looking before the ball was even there. That's what you're supposed to do. When you look for the ball earlier, now you can play the receiver more so than the DB. I think a lot of things like Trent in certain areas, if you get your head around sooner, now you're not reacting, you're playing the ball now. So when you wait for the receiver to react, then you can kind of be late on the step. So as soon as I get past 5 or 10 yards, I know he's not running anything short, and it's 0, like DMac said earlier. So you know the ball's coming out quick. So once I'm in phase and I get past 5 to 10 yards, look for the ball immediately. Then you can start playing.
Told that boy, buckle up for safety.
And that's only the beginning, because the same thing that Jalen Watson
and gave you life.
And unfortunately, like just Josh Williams, their rookie years, they had to go through those same struggles of playing Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, all CeeDee Lamb, all those elite receivers early on in the season. So these reps are going to be so valuable for Noel Williams down the season, because it's only going to make him a better player. Because it's not going to get any easier for us when we see Malik Neighbors this week, and obviously when we play Zay Flowers and Rashard Bateman. Like, every week when you see these elite receivers, it's just going to make your job easier. By the time we get to December, guys are going to be more comfortable to play in these spots. So.
Don't learn nothing sitting on the bench, man.
Got to play, man.
Gotta play. Absolutely. They did a good job at sorting out this stack, in my opinion, especially for it to be man coverage.
For sure. Jay Watt does a great job of not letting Dodson get off the line, so it's more of an easier, clean look. So when I jam him up, it's more clean. Like, all right, outside B Cook, I know I got him. And now Chamari's like, whoever goes inside, I got him. So it's an easier read for B Cook because he knows, all right, he can't go inside because Jalen cut that off. If he goes flat, I got him. If he goes deep, I already got cushion. So it's kind of, and I think that was Smitty in that one. So yeah, that's a pretty much one rep. Jalen Watson's the one that run that rep for me. When you kind of similar to what Derwin James did to try last week, when you jam the initial receiver, it makes it an easier look for your other DBs. Now they can kind of play on when they go in and out. So
2-2 doing what he does, man.
Jam up.
He's all pro.
Hurts never really looks at the bottom screen anyway, but Trent does a good job at the bottom of the screen, creating some chaos at the catch point there and tipping the ball up in the air. And this is not the this is a slot. Yeah, this is a slot fade cover 0 here. Watson has the underneath route that he sits on effectively.
Like as soon as he's running like past he should have been looking for the ball so much sooner.
Yeah. Watson down the field at at the top of the screen, follows the man down the field. So nothing really. I thought Watson played a good game. Again, little nitpicky things here or there, but he's going to have to continue to play at that level, really, in my personal opinion, for this defense on the back end to work. But to DG's overall point, good communication on the back end that was well improved. Hicks and Cook coming downhill helped a lot, in my opinion, too. Anything you guys got as far as defensive takes before we flip to the offense side of the ball?
Sir. Look at the disgusting part of the game.
Well, I want to start with the one of the disgusting parts of the game. This run game. And I put up the cut of this because I think it's worthwhile to kind of look at what really was the big issue as far as the running back run game on a consistent basis was concerned. You start off here. This is a really uncharacteristic kind of sequence.
Creed got whooped here.
Creed. He gets that initial push, obviously, on the defensive tackle to help out Trey. He's got to get over quicker because Zach Bond shoots
flying through there. Yeah.
Now, fortunately, the way that the run is actually designed, they get the edge still, and Pacheco is still able to turn the corner and get a nice little gain here, which is fortunate to say the least. But yeah, Bond just shot through there.
If he's chipped and he gets a hand on him, but he could probably get the edge from Hollywood's blocking. He probably has a chance to turn that to a 10-yard run. But overall, good concept from the left side. Josh and Kingsley overtake the 3-tech and the wide 5 right here. Oh, that's nice.
A little duo look. They get Kelsey on kind of the wind back to set the edge. Get a duo trying to get Creed and Trey climbing to the second level. Kingsley just doesn't necessarily overtake this block enough necessarily. Jawan Taylor as well on the right side just allows him to kind of shoot through. And that's he's got to be a little bit better. Jawan gets a little bit inside. That hole is probably a little bit firmer for Kareem Hunt. I would say even still, he probably should have taken it even still. And he goes outside, still gets enough yardage to at least
positive runs, man. If you give me 45, I'll take it every day.
Yeah,
like I know that's a low bar for ours, but as long as we just know our negative plays because this running back probably back doesn't feel for that. This is just a win by Zadarius. Because obviously you would love in a perfect world for him to squeeze this down, and then Kingsley could hook him, and then that could build the edge. But obviously, when you have a guy that's making you kick him out, he can't come back inside because there's trash right here, and he's not fast enough to go outside. So this is just a good edge set by Zadarius right here, which is another guy we should have signed, ironically.
Yeah.
Don't ever run this play ever again. I could live the rest of my life without ever seeing this.
I mean, especially against that wide set, DG. If I'm here, I would probably check this. Maybe don't run a power concept. Let's just run a straight zone concept to try to just kick Zadarius out naturally instead of trying to pull and try to log him. Because once he sets this edge, Pacheco has no way to cut this back because Trey's on the ground. So there's trash right there. I can't cut it outside because Zadarius is right there and Pacheco's not fast enough. So in a perfect world, if I'm Pat, before we even snap this ball, I see that wide set right there. I'm going to check it to a zone and just try to wash him down, then let Pacheco naturally cut it up instead of trying to get on the edge because he's not that fast to run this play. So.
Yeah, and ultimately, this is one of the things. A better back maybe even makes this not matter because they do end up cutting this back. But Trey falling on the backside doesn't help, and then Josh Simmons doesn't take the proper angle to wall this off. To where if Josh Simmons walls that off and Trey Smith does, actually keeps his feet, then running back can follow Creed Humphrey if Zadarius ends up setting that edge, obviously, as he does very effectively. And then you have a chance for a real positive run there. Exactly. Check what stays outside Zadarius Smith.
They won that rep. It's okay. They won the rep. There were a lot of good runs.
Another guy we should have signed, to say the least. We got Hunt and Smith in the backfield here. Send Smith out wide, trying to get the linebacker out of the way for the run blocking angle. I know they're trying to trap here. I think that's ultimately what it is. I think this is Kingsley. I think this is a place where Kingsley.
So show it again. I thought who left the backer just right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's Trey. Because like if I'm Kingsley and I throw him by Trey, why are you reaching for somebody that's already passed line of scrimmage? I think Trey needs to get up on Bond right here.
Yeah, well that's the thing. I feel like it's if they're running
somebody's coming inside. Yeah, I get the concept trap, but if I'm Trey, once I take this step and I see that 3-tech is outside of Kingsley.
Oh yeah, Trey's got to go up and climb. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just I don't know whose responsibility it is in this case. Because obviously like Kingsley's convinced he's got to swing that guy by. He even whiffs on the edge anyway.
Because like if I'm Trey, I'm like, bro, like what are you chasing? Like because if Kingsley, obviously you throw him by. It sounds like this it's like a draw concept. You throw him by. Obviously, Josh is trying to go up. Kingsley, you kick out Zadarius. Trey, you take Bond right here. We're out the gate for 5 or 10 yards. Jawan's going up on the safety right there. Creed's got the edge, or Jalen Carter washed himself down. Yeah, this is like I don't get what Trey was. I'm confused what Trey was doing. Because why are you chasing somebody that's behind the line of scrimmage?
Somebody obviously misses assignment here. I'm just not sure if it's Trey or maybe Kingsley.
Or it feels like a draw concept. Obviously,
it feels like a little draw trap concept to say the least. I don't know. I'm not sure who misses assignment. Obviously, Zach Bond is supposed to be blocked by somebody in this case.
Sure.
And ultimately, that limits what the run looks like. Because I mean, if you dig out Zach Bond, then everything else kind of falls in place.
Yeah, it's a great play right there.
On the other block outside. So,
and even then, you still got 5 yards. Even with
still got 5 yards.
Even with a bad concept.
We'll take
8-time day of the week. We ran a lot of powers and gaps just on Sunday as well.
Yeah, this is indicative of some of the stuff that I was, really disappointed by on tape. Noah Gray just didn't have a great day blocking. Boucher does a good job swimming over Noah Gray to be able to get over to Pacheco. I would say even so, Trey doesn't do an amazing job as a puller here, trying to climb up to Jihad Campbell and wash him out of the picture because that gets very tight and very congested there. Ultimately, the rep is lost because Josh Uche swims over Noah Gray. And he's got to be better blocking. He just has to be.
Got to get your face in there. Got to get your hands on him. Obviously, you don't want to hold, but get your hands on his pad so he can't disengage from you and able to make that play. So
Kingsley being on the ground is so funny.
Yeah, it's on the ground. But at least.
I'm not saying he didn't. It's just the way he fell was just hilarious.
Yeah.
He fell because Josh Simmons pushed him out of the way.
Josh like, watch out. He's like, oh shit.
I got him. You move.
I got him. You go over there. If Noah gets that block, that play has a chance. He has to. Noah and Robert Tonyan both.
Right here.
I think Tonyan does a solid enough job here. I think it's really Trey didn't get the push that you would want to, as he's the puller, and then Noah didn't do his assignment well.
And ironically, these are missed block concepts, and we're still getting positive yards. So we're getting close to hitting the big one, obviously.
You know the meme? Or it wasn't a meme. It was like a video like a few years ago where guys like dancing in the mirror, and then his big old roommate comes in like shoves him out the way.
That was Kingsley.
That's what Josh just did to Kingsley, man.
Watch out, bro, bro.
Next play, we get a little outside zone. No Gray again. I don't know. Brother is doing the step up to the streets knee slide.
Oh, they're sliding. What?
I don't even know how he ended up like that, bro.
Rough day for Noah, bro.
It was a really rough day watching this back on tape for Noah, to say the least. They get the double team Creed on Jordan Davis and Kingsley trying to climb to the second level. Jordan Davis is very difficult to move out the way. If Noah can get something here on Bond, then the play has a little bit of chance to at least get some positives. And this was after Josh got hurt, so Jalen Moore is in there at the left tackle, does a good job as far as that's concerned. But chaos because the double team on Jordan Davis is clean enough, and then the Noah Gray, whatever happens here, to be able to help out on the second level ends up failing.
He was trying to get underneath this block, which I get the concept, but it's like if you do that, Noah, you have to make it clean and obvious. But when you get caught up in the trash, that's when you fall. So you're better off just eating with the tackle on Jalen and then just moving up and trying to go get ball in that way. You tried to cheat the concept and go underneath, and then you fell.
That boy looked like he was in a "you got served."
He got there slipping and sliding. I don't know what he was doing.
He did the knee slide, man. So
a traditional TE block would have been way better because then you could just eat up right to the backer.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because when you're looking at this concept, if you see the way in which they're lined up, and you want to get here, right. I understand the point. I understand it. I truly do. But you got to get.
It's a chance. You're taking a chance.
I know you want to get this guy out here and try, but this guy is too big. This guy is too big to try and do that. You got to give. I need two here. I need two there. Kick that guy out. And let's say, hey, you want Creed?
Let Jalen get it. Yeah, exactly.
I say pull Creed through the hole here in that case because otherwise nobody else is going to get Bond. But you got to give me something because this trying to get him in front of him is not going to work. And I know he's quick. I know Sumataia is quick, but he's not quick and powerful enough to get around Jordan Davis and handle it and then climb while you try to get Creed in front of him.
I would have rather Trav and Noah take on Zadarius right here. You guys double team him and kick him out. Jalen and Kingsley, obviously, you work Jordan to get up the ball here. And then obviously if you guys come off late and you can get to Makuba, that's what you're working on. But it's 2 for 2. Trav and Noah, you guys got Zadarius. Kingsley and Jalen, you guys got Jordan working up the Bond. Creed and Trey, you guys are taking, I think that's Jalen Carter, working up to Campbell right here. And then obviously Juwan is backside with the hook for Nolan Smith. That's the way the concept should have worked instead of Noah trying to cheat the system and go straight to Bond. I would have done that. That should have been a check for me right here.
Yeah, it's just
because Trav's not blocking nobody at that point. So Trav, you kind of just like a wasted body.
Yeah, and it's too difficult of a block in my opinion to try and pull off there. So
the knee slide is taking me out. I'm sorry.
He did the knee slide.
That's what happened. That's what happens when you try to cheat, bro. I know that life. No, I know where you were thinking. Like I can get this side.
I've been where you at.
No, you ain't, brother. It sound good in his head. DMac, he was like, "Yeah, I can make this block." And then watching film, he's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have tried that shit. My fault, coach. I ain't gonna do that again." I know in film today, he was watching that shit feeling dumb as hell. Trust me, I know that feeling. It's all good, Noah. Just don't do it again.
They get a draw here. Kingsley does a good job at being able to get to where he needs to be against Jordan Davis. Creed is up on more Jomo. Just a little bit of a teach moment for Jalen Moore. I understand that it's a draw. You're trying to get him up. You better make sure that he's buying. You got to make sure that he's buying before you go and try and climb because that's ultimately where we're going to play.
If anything, I'd rather you take an extra second to make sure Zadarius Smith is back there. And even if you're late, you still have the lane open because you going so early, in a sense, you didn't do nothing because he's still there to make the play.
Right. And at the very least, you set up the fact that I understand you're trying to look out to the second level and stuff, but like
there's nobody in front of you.
you're not guaranteeing the 4 yards that we got if you make sure that Zadarius Smith is past him. If you do that, then ultimately you can at least get Pacheco in the second level and allow him to do something from that perspective. Exactly. Maybe he doesn't do anything, but at least you guarantee the 4 yards there. Again, more
if he gets this in his trade, then it's basically Pacheco with one-on-one with Jihad going over the top.
Exactly.
So now he can play that one-on-one. I'd rather that than him trying to worry about Zadarius Smith clipping him from behind. So,
and Jalen is thrown into this game at this point, so obviously,
this is live
situation.
First reps.
Unfortunate from that aspect, but again,
he'll learn from this for sure.
Yeah, I don't like our halfback draw game at all.
Well, halfback draws are naturally soft plays. You do that if you've been passing the ball great the whole day. You're like, they're dropping back, psych, and then a draw.
I just don't get. I don't get Andy Reid's infatuation with him, especially with this running back personnel. Like, I just don't think you have the dynamic guys, that you would like to have back there that they could, this is like with Jamal Charles, cool.
They got one guy that is dynamic.
Well, they don't play him.
Hey, you watch your mouth, sir. He's on the way. You watch your mouth. All right. Patience, DG. Patience.
I'm sorry, DG.
Yeah, but they don't play him.
You got, and that's what I'm saying is that, like, that's what I was saying today on the Twitter. Like, if you need explosion for these kinds of plays because these are the plays. Like, bro, Jamal Charles isn't walking through that door no more. Andy,
but you got 2-4 back there.
Yes, play the kid. Like, if you're gonna put him in on certain packages, put him in on these packages and allow him to do certain stuff like this. You got Kareem Hunt.
I mean, and I understand the pass protection elements of it that are concerned from that aspect of it, and I get it. But you can't have him on. There's certain plays where he needs to, and that it's not going to be shown in this clip. But that Kareem Hunt 3rd down and 2 swing, that's not doing anything. No. If it's Brashard Smith, then he's got a shot in the open field, but Kareem Hunt doesn't. So those are the things that you got to be able to use Brashard Smith in some of these things, and you can take advantage of some of the holes a little bit better. Ultimately, I'll say on this play, obviously, I have my own issues with our shotgun run game as well, but they do a good job. Little Patrick Mahomes option play on the edge. They get the double team up. Sumataia, I think was that a climb here? Was that a Creed? Yeah, Creed, yes. And Creed, him dig him out. Creed gets up to Jihad. Trey and Taylor take on a Jomo. Taylor does a good job just getting enough of a Jomo so that Trey can go ahead and climb out to Bond. Again, Josh Simmons handling Lamone. I think that's Jalen Moore still out there handling on the outside. Gets Kareem with a nice little crease there to get up the middle.
There we go, fellas. That's the run game right there.
But it is an important piece to say about the run game. Hey, if you're going to do light boxes, and ultimately the fact that we can't run a normal play out of light boxes and be able to get this kind of game is kind of annoying. I'll be fully transparent with you guys about that. Yes. But the reality situation is you're going to have to use Patrick Mahomes' legs as a threat. And obviously, that makes Nolan Smith freeze here on the edge just enough to be able to get Kareem Hunt by him. And so that helps. When you can put Patrick Mahomes in the run threat, that gives you a +1 advantage. When you're dealing with a light box, then that makes your run game even more dangerous as well. Got Noah Gray coming across the formation, a little crackback, little outside zone here. I don't mind it.
Hey, Noah had a rough day, but I know that slice block, that is nothing to play with. In 97, who was that?
That's a Jomo.
That's a big boy. So the fact that you made him jump underneath you, hey, all credit to you, brother, because I wasn't trying to hit him neither. The slice blocks are not fun when you're running full speed and you got to smack somebody in the head. So, but your job is to slow him down for a step. Him false stepping like that now gives you the edge to set to run the zone. Obviously, you would have liked to have done it better, but Noah Gray, I applaud you for going out there at least trying to do your job.
Yeah, it just gets a little. Again, Nolan Smith is no. Obviously, obviously Jordan Davis kind of makes the biggest part of this play by just being Jordan Davis, but Nolan Smith just absolutely undercuts Creed Humphrey. It just says, "I'm going to kill everything" by being able to go underneath. Shout out to him because he just plays that way, and that's just impressive to say the least. Do a good job of washing Carter out. Trey and Creed are in a good spot here to try and get to it, but Nolan Smith just says, "I'm going to get wide and I'm going to just muddy everything
mess up the whole play." That's smart. That's a smart thing. Smart job.
So, he's willing to put his body on the line. You got to give him credit for that. But I don't know. Again, it's just very difficult. The Eagles have a good front seven. That's also a good part of this, man. Eagles just got a good front seven too. There was more under center runs than I realized. I will say, watching this back as well.
Yes.
Like I said, the run game was good enough for me. It wasn't dynamic by any means, to DG's point, but was it good enough to help us set up some of the plays downfield? Absolutely. We just got to hit our explosive plays when we get the opportunity, because we know our run game isn't explosive for those 15 to 20-yard gains. So the run game wasn't great, but it's not awful either. It was good enough for us to win the game. And like DMac said, this is a very good front. But I think for what it was and some missed assignments, they did good enough to give us a chance.
Yeah. A little bit on Creed here, a little bit on Kingsley. Creed just gets tossed a little bit aside. Got to do a better job of keeping his angle there. Kingsley ends up getting tossed aside as well by Morrow a little bit further down. It's not the reason why the play doesn't end up working. The backside, edge kind of ends up getting to it eventually. But still a solid enough game, but could have been more if that block was a little bit cleaner from Trey. Oh, God. So this was the 4th and 1.
This is the funny one. The second one was way better.
This is the 4th and 1. Awful play design, awful play call. B, 3rd and 1, you don't decide to run it. You throw a drop back pass. Terrible decision. Run it on 3rd and 1, and then you can run it again on 4th and 1 if you already know you're going for it on the 4th down. C, running to the edge when you need to get 1 yard, terrible decision.
Very dumb.
Run it straight ahead. You only need to go forward. No reason to do the whole full house, go all the way to the right. Terrible decision. You're literally making the distance you have to go much longer than you have to actually make. D, as far as this is concerned. if you are lining up and 98 is here and 90 is here and 3 is here, they're 3 best defensive line
not running that
players from being able from a run defense perspective. And again, Morrow is good. I under no circumstances am I running this way, but they all line up this way because based on this formation with Robert Tonyan and Noah Gray here, you know the ball is going to Kareem Hunt, and it's got to come this way because of physics. Just bad play design, bad decision, and the personnel just lines up poorly here for the Chiefs to be able to do anything effectively. You can even see Jordan Davis moves over because he knows it's coming that way specifically. I mean, you could maybe a better running back is able to cut that back through this case here, but this play was always going to be blown up because Nolan Smith is awesome and plays with his hair on fire, and Noah Gray was not going to be able to push Nolan Smith farther back enough that it needed to be. He blows Noah Gray up.
Swoop.
And that's on top of
Cree smoked it too.
yeah, I was about to say that's on top of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis blowing up that gap too by being underneath and inside of Jawan Taylor too. So bad play design, bad decision to run it, and I don't mind going for it. I really don't. The aggression in that point, I actually don't mind. Just you got to have a much better play.
The next time we ran that 4th and 1, we reverse pivoted out and got straight downhill in the play work.
Yeah, just do the fullback dive thing that you understand.
Do that.
Kareem Hunt is perfect for that on a consistent basis. There's no issue.
You're going to run on the edge. Give that Pritchard, not trying to get on the edge with Kareem Hunt.
And don't do it on 4th and 1, please.
Yeah, facts.
and again, if you want to, spread them out on 3rd and 1. And then
you got 2 down.
Because you know you have 2 downs there. So yeah, bad play call, bad play design all the way around there from Andy Reid. I'm sure it looked great on the whiteboard. I'm sure it looked amazing on the whiteboard.
Until you see Nolan Smith out there.
Yeah. When you see these 3 guys out there, the whiteboard don't matter, brother. I promise you it don't, because they're gonna blow everything up. Man, that was terrible. Next play, shotgun run again. Solid enough. Really, this is more Josh Simmons' issue. Or was that was Kingsley. Yeah, it was Kingsley on the outside. Again, Moro Jomo is really good. Obviously, one of DG's guys, Bevo Strong. Just shoves Kingsley aside there, even with Creed climbing up to Bond and Jihad. I mean, it's just not enough. Just close it down too quickly with what Moro Jomo can do, shoving Kingsley aside in that run game there. They're getting outside and outside zone. Good job by Jawan Taylor getting outside there.
Good hook.
Cutting it off.
There you go. They try to hold that block a little longer. It could be a longer play.
Again, the difficulty of blocking Jordan Davis with reach blocks is this, because Jordan Davis is huge and also can move very quickly. So it's tough to get in front of that level of mass, even for somebody that's an all-pro like Creed Humphrey. And ultimately, he chases us down by the backside as well. If you're gonna, I know it's not necessarily how you would design this, but just give me a shiver. Give Creed a chance to be able to get in front.
Trey, give me a little help, brother. Give me
an elbow, just something. Give me something to give me a chance to get in front of him on the backside there. Because ultimately, it's not like Trey makes a great block, and I don't mean that to bag on Trey or anything, but it's not like he makes a key block here.
You've been more impactful helping Creed, and then more so to just try to slow down Bond.
Right, because if you help Creed and Jordan Davis can't do that, then you have a shot to really turn this corner effectively. And obviously, Trey holding that Bond block is huge, but at least he's running through him there instead of getting undercut very quickly by the corner and him. So, a little bit tough there. And again, the Eagles have a really good front. You have to deal with Jordan Davis. You have to deal with Maurice Jomo. You have to deal with Jalen Carter. You have to deal with Nolan Smith. Obviously, Darius Smith as well. These guys make a difference, particularly against the run. And it's not easy to just move these guys around. It may look great on a whiteboard, even for as good of players as Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, and how good of an athlete that Josh Simmons and Kingsley Sumataia are. It's just different when you're trying to move these guys specifically. So, it's tough to say the least, man. Yeah.
Great adjustment by Pop, because Kingsley got whooped on this point.
Yeah, he did. He had to end up getting a little bit of yards there. I don't think there was anything really.
Oh my god, that's one.
Because you get beat to the outside, so Pacheco
missed that one. Yeah.
Every time we run halfback draw, I just throw up.
Die a little bit inside.
It just looks so slow.
It's such a soft play.
It's such a soft play, and you
It
combine
really
it
only
with running
works
backs.
for heavy pass. It only works for heavy pass concept teams. Like if your passing game is hitting on all cylinders, every time they drop back, oh, he's dropping back, nope, draw. Then it works. There's no threat in the passing game, then the play won't work. So
Exactly. And specifically when you're talking about more of a lighter pass rush type of team, and I say that in like the actual weight, when you're talking about, hey, we've got these really quick speed rushers on the outside, and we're going to have them rush all the way up the field. And so that works with the draw because then it opens up huge B gaps that you can go through and A gaps, even if you're able to push those guys out. But Jalen Carter, Boris Jomo, and Jordan Davis, you're not moving those guys like that. They're not moving like
Monstars.
And Nolan Smith and Zadarius Smith, I know Nolan Smith specifically is a little bit lighter, but they're going through guys' chests. They're not necessarily guys that are going to kill you around the speed edge. They know how to play with power too, so just doesn't work as well. Jalen Carter is a beast as far as that play is concerned.
Good play.
Swims inside, Creed blows up the gap. Kingsley can't get in front of him in time. Hunt tries his best. So that's really what that comes down to.
Jalen Carter, good player.
Little cookout block here. Try to get Creed through the hole. Jalen Carter, again, is just awesome. And you talk about, obviously, with the performance that the Cowboys were able to have, not having Jalen Carter helps, to say the least. And so Simmons can't fully seal that there, and he gets a little bit over his skis, in my opinion, because he jumps out, doesn't he? Yeah, he jumps out a little bit. He should take
a flatter step. Yeah.
Right, a little bit more direct angle there, so that for you to be in front and then start to actually seal it off as the running back can go by. In this case, Jalen's like, oh well, I'm just going to shoot this gap, then cool with me, and I'll go ahead and take the running back out
and get your head across his face. So if he does try to beat you and he tries to go upfield, you can take him up the field with you instead of trying to wash him down to where he can make the play for you. So in this step, you should have took a flatter step and get your head across. Because with your head being on the outside, now he can just beat you across and then just get upfield. You won't have to beat you on your upfield shoulder, not your inside shoulder. So got to get your head on the get your head on the 9 side, not the 8 side, and then this won't happen.
Yeah, and so that's just rookie mistake. You'll get that cleaned up over time as well. I think if he does his job there, Pacheco probably ends up getting past Sumataia and with Creed climb to the second level. Noah does a solid enough job on Campbell, so Trey's holding up Jordan Davis long enough. So again, rookie mistake, technique thing. Take that flatter angle, be able to actually seal that off properly, and also tip the cap to Jalen Carter being Jalen Carter too.
Yeah, you won't be seeing him again unless you get to a particular game.
Yes. So this is the one that obviously a lot of people have seen the copy of Pacheco running up Kingsley Sumataia's butt here, which there's some daylight to be had, to say the least. And I think it's a short yardage conversion too, so he can obviously
trying to get a first down. Yeah.
So that's the limitations that come with Pacheco there. Blocked up well, but doesn't necessarily see it fully. He just kind of runs up.
I don't know what he's looking at. He obviously wasn't looking at where I was looking at.
And then this is the fullback dive here on 4th and 1, like you talked about. Again, look, just run it straight ahead, man. Kareem can find enough to get the job done.
There you go.
That's all you need.
Keep it simple. You ain't got to overthink it. Keep it simple.
And look, that's even Jalen. And again, this is the big thing. Like when you're running the ball straight ahead, there's only but so much time to do things. Jalen Carter absolutely destroys Trey Smith and tosses him aside, but he can't do that in time and also fill this gap for you not to get a yard. So run it straight ahead.
Go forward. Easier to get first down. Come back for another zone concept. Kareem trying to get skinny. I like it.
Yeah, trying to get skinny up through that
5 yards.
Trey trying to get Jalen Carter. Oh no, that's not Zadarius, right? 58.
No, that's not, yeah, I think
Zadarius. I think that's Jalix. Out of that gap there. I'd like to see a little bit more from Trey on this snap.
Yeah, try to get him out of there cleaner.
Get him out
to make it a better hole for Kareem. Yeah, just get him out of there cleaner. Let him fight too much. Dig him out a little sooner.
Yeah. So that's all the runs. It was a mixed bag. Some tight end mistakes, some guard mistakes, some tackle mistakes. Obviously, frustrations with the scheme to say the least, which we all have. But the main thing for me when I was watching it back was just like this Eagles front is tough. This Eagles front is really you're dealing with a lot of tough sledding as far as that's concerned. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't expect this to be a dynamic run game. I'd like to see more Brashard Smith for sure. I'd like to see them do a little bit more of the power gap stuff that you saw sprinkled in here. Reality situation, there are limitations to the run game. There always are going to be. When the team does not feel like they're always going downhill at you from the defensive side of the ball because you can actually move the ball through the air and you have your wide receivers, I think things look maybe a little bit differently.
For sure. Way more lighter boxes when you have those weapons out there, for sure.
Yeah. We're gonna hold off on the Kingsley Sumataia and Simmons thing because we're running up against it here. We have been talking for a very long time, to say the least. But I'll just end it here just with this portion of it. Give me one positive from the game, and then we'll flip the script to week 3.
Safety communication. That was the biggest thing. I didn't want to see them happen again. They communicated a lot better, passed off a lot better. They played with more heart, more aggression. So definitely, overall, DB group played better, but definitely the safety. They definitely improved from week 1 to week 2 for me.
I will say the rookies. The rookies brought. They brought it. They brought the juice, the energy. They were definitely. You could tell they were definitely ready to play and prepared. So shout out to them. Hopefully, it continues going into week 3 and progresses throughout the season as well too.
Absolutely.
I would say the defensive effort would be my biggest positive, my personal opinion. Just they came out like they wanted to play this week compared to week 1, and that was nice to see. So flipping the script. There you go. To week 3, turn the page. Going against the Giants. I think we all agree must-win game. Can't go to 0-3, especially not against this team on the road. Can't happen. Give me one matchup on each side of the ball, either that you want to watch or you want to see us exploit as far as this Giants team is concerned.
I definitely think this defensive line is what you saw this previous week. Although I do think from a pass rush perspective, they can probably get after it. But I think as far as a run game perspective, I think you should be able to have a little bit more success in the run game this week versus than last week. So that'd be one matchup I would probably look out for. And then you're facing Russell Wilson this week.
Get a pick.
Come on, man. Yeah, get a turnover, please. He's definitely gonna give you 1 or 2 or 3. You never know.
Not 4, not 5.
Yeah. You gotta definitely gotta tee off on this guy. Doesn't have the same offensive line as Jalen Hurts would have.
I was just about to say
as well
that.
too. So you definitely should have a lot more success rushing the passer, and he's not as athletic as Jalen Hurts is, so you're not as worried about him leaking out and picking up. I mean, Russ is still there a little bit for Russ, but I think you can definitely get after him a lot better than you can Jalen
For sure. I know Andrew Thomas has been dealing with injuries this year. I expect him to play this week if he's available. But no, Dallas was able to get after Russ, obviously, make some mistakes, and obviously towards the end of the game, they took some shots. They have to be there in position. But I think this O-line can be had. So our D-line, we've been saying it for the last year, they have to step up and make their plays. So every week they're picking up steam. They're getting a little better with their twists and their stunts and having a more effect on the game. But this is a week you have to go out there and dominate. You put pressure on Russell Wilson, he will turn the ball over like DG just said. But it all starts with the front 4. You have to go out there and get home for sure.
Any other matchups on the other side of the ball?
Offensively?
For us, no.
nothing crazy, honestly.
Maybe as far as Tyquan Thornton and Mahomes getting that same chemistry with the deep ball. Would like to see that a little bit more, Chris. I think that'll be something that Pat will probably have a lot more emphasis this week in game planning for or whatever. But yeah, other than that, we don't have our weapons, bro.
Hopefully Worthy's back on the field naturally. He'll draw coverage and help guys get open. Juju, Hollywood, Trav will have better games as well. So, but the deep shots is going to be a theme until we hit them. Obviously, not going to hit them 100% of the time, but just the early ones when you need them to go out there and extend your drives and build momentum for your team, you have to have them. So hit those shots when you get them, and obviously would love to see Hollywood and Juju get more involved in the game plan early on this week. Obviously, this isn't going to be, from a namesake, this defensive line was supposed to be one of the best in the league, but so far this year they haven't been that good, DG, to be honest. I'm not trying to troll or anything, just watching them up front, they haven't been as impressive as we expected them to be. So coming into before the season, we talked about the schedule. This game I was terrified for, mainly for Josh and Kingsley. They played a lot better up to this point, so I'm more confident going to that game now, based on it we went like a month ago. So
Dexter Lawrence is an awesome defensive player, to say the least. Obviously, like we talked about, they've got a few different edge guys that are disruptive, but this should be an opportunity to take advantage of a defense that has been, and got after on a consistent basis this year.
So 40 ball last week. So.
You can get after their corners. It's not going to be easy to get after their corners. I think you can also get after their second level a little bit as well. But yeah, I mean, the offense it's going to be tough sledding. Obviously, you mentioned Xavier Worthy again. Nate Taylor mentioned earlier today. It sounds like he has a really good chance. I think it was on Cody and Gold, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this morning at 10. Yeah, Cody and Gold.
Yeah, he said that that Xavier Worthy has a good chance to play in Week 3. We'll also monitor Jalen Royals and his practice status as well to see if he ends up coming back on and has a chance to get his first reps in an actual game as well. So, but yeah, I mean, the offense is just going to be tough sledding. You try and make it happen. I think you can have some better success versus the defensive line than you did versus the Chargers and Giants, but we'll see. Defensively, I mean, it's just one of those things. You just got to keep a roof on what they do. They're going to try and get Tyron Tracy and Cam Scottaboo going early. They obviously have offensive line issues that you can attack, but obviously I don't know if this defensive line is equipped enough to do so at this current moment in time. So bring the same defensive effort, though. That's really the big thing for me is you cannot go into this game and be like, oh, we know we're going to beat this team. We don't necessarily – no, I need you to bring that same fire that you had for the home opener, that same effort that you had that you were pissed off after week 1. You need to bring that to the Giants. And if you don't, then you can be staring 0-3 very easily. So defense needs to bring that same effort. Offense, play a clean game. That would be the other thing. Play a clean game.
And be patient.
You can't afford the mental mistakes. You just can't. They killer. So
you don't have to get it all in one play.
Exactly. Gonna come to you. The play's gonna be there.
To say the least. All right. With that being said, let's get to the X Factor and game picks for the Giants Sunday night football matchup against the Chiefs. 2-0-2 teams getting after it. X Factor and game picks, guys.
X Factor. I'm gonna go Charles Omenihu. I showed a lot of flashes this week. Got better. The rush was obviously a better opportunity to go out there and put pressure on the quarterback. He did that better versus Philly than we did versus LA. So I think he has a chance to go out there and put his imprint on this game versus an old line that has been struggling. So that's my X Factor pick. Game pick, I'm going to pick us to win. I'm going to go Chiefs. We're definitely not covering that spread. That's a fact. I'm going to go Chiefs. Oh, we had 13, so 7. Yeah, Chiefs 23, Giants 20.
Yeah, X Factor.
So were you also going to take Charles Omenihu?
My fault, bro.
No, I wasn't going to take him. I can't even think of one. Want them to win.
That is the ultimate fact. I don't really care. What's going on. I'm just saying
I don't really care about the
I really don't care. Just win the game, bro. I don't care how we do it.
X Factor, man. This I already know. Like, I'm not even gonna. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be Mahomes is gonna put on his cape and somehow we're gonna win the sloppiest Sunday night football game you've ever seen in your entire life.
Ugly as hell. Just like Sunday.
X Factor, Jaden Hicks, I guess, do something, get a turnover.
Do something.
Russ
Nice.
is gonna definitely give you one at some point in time. So just make sure you get your hands on it or whatever. Do something, man. Chiefs win. I don't got to score. Chiefs win. Just
Chiefs
win.
dub. That's all that matters.
Just get a dub, please.
Just win. Just
please
win.
this game.
Yeah. X Factor.
So you wrote this point is like.
I'm actually. So I'll say Brian Cook, and I'll say this from this perspective: there are going to be many shots taken at Brian Cook throughout this game. There just are.
Neighbors.
They're going to throw the ball down the field on a consistent basis. That's what Russ wants to do. He's going to be checked down to
Chuck it down.
Deep shot to check down. So you got to make sure you keep that lid on these routes. They're going to be trying to go to Malik Neighbors on a consistent basis. My personal opinion, based on what I've seen from this Giants offense, I would put Trent on Wan'Dale Robinson and have just a safety help over top of Neighbors the entire night, and just let Watson do what you can from that perspective. Based on what I saw, and then let Noel deal with whoever the third guy is, because we can't trust Fulton to be out there. That's how I would approach it. We'll see if Spags ends up doing it. Yeah, obviously, we'll see if he ends up having to throw it. But I'll give 2 X factors. 1, Brian Cook. 2, Omar Norman Lott. Show me something on the interior, because you're going to get one-on-one opportunities versus a bad interior offensive line for the Giants. Game pick, win the fucking game. Tell the truth, trifecta. You guys
don't care.
Win the game.
Win the game.
Win the game. Please
Don't care.
Chiefs money line.
Chiefs money line across the board.
Chiefs money line, bro.
I don't care how you do it. Win the game. Don't care. We'll do picks next
I'm
week.
not about to
I really don't care. Facts. I really don't care how we do it.
Just win, bro. I don't care. You can win 3-0.
Facts. I don't care.
I don't care.
Get a dub, bro. Let James be over there. We need a dub, bro. Please.
I'm gonna give 2 plays and then Chiefs money line. Travis Kelce over whatever his yardage line is, and then Malik Neighbors' longest reception. I got a weird feeling Travis Kelce's gonna come out and play well, which is I hope so.
After he plays bad for sure.
Last.
I mean, no troll shit. I mean, I would obviously take Pat's longest rush, whatever his 12.5 to 13.5. He's gonna take off, and then obviously my other play would be Pat's overall rushing yards. He's been cashing in every game this year because he takes off when we play man. So those would be my 2 plays plus the money line. But regardless, win the game. I don't care how you do it. Just come on with a dub.
I'll go with the long shot. Probably take the over on Tyquan Thornton's longest reception. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that high. Probably
pretty good bet.
Yeah,
he's going to get the opportunities for sure.
Because he's definitely going to get the chance. So, that would probably be my play. Or anytime. I'll say anytime interception for Russell Wilson.
Fair enough. So that's going to end up wrapping it up for us today. Make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy. You code Truth3 for $100 deposit match, or code TeamCast. Of course, we'll be putting this trifecta out obviously right before the game on Sunday as well. And then also we got Wings and Things game day box. Make sure you guys go in there, check it out. The deal that we got over there. Let me see if I can get to it a little bit quickly as well before we go ahead and wrap it up. I don't want to shortchange Wings and Things.
Shout out to the good people over there in Wings and Things, man. Tell the truth.
10 wings, 10 tenders,
and some fry.
A large fry, and grab me a strawberry,
with some ranch,
strawberry.
please.
Yeah, when you leave. All right.
I gotta get some ranch.
I'll see you at the watch party.
Nah, me.
Sir. Friday game day box, baby. 10 wings and wangs, 10 large tender, large fry, baby. Go ahead and get it.
Go grab it.
So. Lord Jesus, we're not going to do this. We're going to deal with the power rankings in a bit. We'll get back to the power rankings a little bit, and we let you. I promise you, the segments will be coming back. It's just there's been a lot to cover early in this season. Okay, it's been a lot.
We go on. I'm not doing power rankings.
Oh, he care no more. Fuck, bro.
We gonna lay some teams to rest, and we're gonna do power rankings next week. I promise y'all. But
lay us to rest.
God, I hope we ain't gotta lay us to rest. Oh man,
the butt.
Win the game. Win the game is the answer. And
by any means, bro. By any means this week. I don't care what you got to do. Fight, scratch, pull, claw. Go up there and get a dub. I don't care what you do. We not coming home without a dub. That's the mindset, baby.
Absolutely. Back against
And
12,
you've never beat them in the Meadowlands.
So what better
use
time than
that?
now?
Yeah, use that as motivation.
never beat them on the road, period, in the history of the
Yes.
Giants. Right,
Never ever. No better time than now. Come on.
Do it.
No better time than the present. Get off the snide, get your first win of the season, come back home. So
And Travis Kelce
appreciate.
won't throw passes.
And Trav, you better score. That's all I know. You
That's
catch the ball,
traumatized.
son.
Oh man, that was funny.
Oh, we ain't doing no trick play this week. After that shit, hell no.
Appreciate you guys for coming by. Tell the truth. Obviously, Kingdom Cast coming up on Thursdays. Got Red Shirt podcast coming up on Wednesday. Big old Mizzou game coming up versus South Carolina. Make sure you guys tune into what Trey's got to talk about that. Obviously, DG will be on there tomorrow night. Kingdom Cast on Thursday. We'll be back for the post game later on Monday because obviously it's Sunday night game. We're not coming on after Sunday night game. But I appreciate y'all. Peace out. Go Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yes.